Hi everyone and welcome back to the multiverse of 100 plus data science project series. In this video, we're going to be creating here a transcriber from the audio file using Groq Whisper model. First, let's have a look at our application, how it look like. So I can upload a file from here by clicking this button. Let's selecting here a song by Ed Sheeran's name perfect. I'm going to click on open. So it is reloading them. It is loading it our applications. So if I click on submit, then you can see here warning, waiting for the files to finish uploading, please retrieve. Well, our music is loaded. Perfect song by Ed Sheeran's. So I'm not going to playing this out here just because of some YouTube copyright issue. So I'm simply going to clicking here this submit button. So after processing them, it will give it here one transcription results. So it will appear in these sections. So you can see our answers. I found the love for me, darling. Just like that. So this is the result, how it looked like. So in this video, we're going to creating here these full applications from scratch using this Groq Whisper model. Let's building our transcriber using Groq Whisper model. But in this case, we are not going to using the LangChain Groq. We are directly using the OpenAI, and in the base URL, you're going to setting here this Groq Cloud API. So for that, I need to install here the OpenAI. So let's install it. Let's say pip install OpenAI. Shift enter, or you can also clicking on this button. So you can see requirement already satisfied. That's means it's already installed in this kernel. So what I can do first, I'm going to go on here and clear the output because it's quite annoying. And after that, I'm going to importing from OpenAI. I'm going to import here the OpenAI. So let's say from OpenAI, I'm going to import here the OpenAI. That's the OpenAI. Also, I'm going to import here the sub process. Why? Just because of I need to actually converting here the web file or the mp3 file into .ogg format. So why it's important, we discuss is the later on. Just shift enter to running these shells. And after that, you're going to go inside this Groq Cloud API, Groq Cloud Workspace, to accessing here our API key as well as our model. That's called the Whisper model. So for that, we can simply going to go on that. There's the Groq Cloud Workspace. Here you can also ask the questions to the this input box, and if you submit it, it will give you some kind of answers. So you can also you can see it have several types of model available, just like llama 4 is already available inside this Groq Cloud. If I go into this documentations, and inside this section, you can see we can using here this api.grok OpenAI version 1 chat completions. That means in case of OpenAI, we are also using the Groq models. So if I go into this Whisper model, then you can see it also available for the OpenAI. You can see developer Google Gamma 9BIT and also Llama 3.317 versatile, which is nothing but in the form of productions, as well as you can see Whisper Last B3 that you're going to use it here because this is directly from the OpenAI. That's mean we can using here the OpenAI without accessing the OpenAI API key. We can directly use it from the Groq Cloud. So you can go on these API key sections and you're going to creating here a API key. Let's get the API key. Let's say Transcriber. So let's say Transcriber like that. And then I'm simply going to make it verify as a human and click on submit. And after that, I'm going to copying here this API key. Then simply going to go inside that. And after that, I'm simply creating here my instance of the OpenAI. So let's say OpenAI. So let's say it should be the OpenAI. And inside that, you're going to give it here the API key. So it should be the small letter. So API underscore key. And the copy I passed, actually get it. I am simply going to pass it here. Also, you can also store it inside your secret key. Or you can also use it to the environment variable if you are using your local machines. And after that, I have to give it here one base URL. So let's say base underscore URL. So the URL you can give it here that you see inside that you can see on here, not like that. If I go inside this dashboard, and no, so not dashboard, documentations, and you can simply going to copying here this one. Okay, you can copy here this up to version 1. You can copy it. You can also here, and you can copy this base URL that I'm going to use it here. So I'm simply going to go inside that and I'm going to paste it here. There's a base URL, https and api.groq.com, OpenAI and version 1. So this is nothing but my Groq model right now. So how can we access it without using the Groq module? We can directly access it using this OpenAI. Okay, so let's say Groq now. Okay, sorry for that, bad. So let's say Groq. That's it. Now you can see here it is already loaded. Now we're going to creating here one functions for the audio re-encoding. So for this case, I'm going to using here the OGG format. This is nothing but the output format in case of the Whisper models, which one is really very cool and which one is really very useful as well and easy. So for that, I'm going to creating here a functions called def re-encoded. See, re-encoded audio, let's say underscore audio to underscore OGG, which are taking one input file. So let's say input file, and then it will taking one output file. I mean the output file, because the file we give it here in the form of mp3 or the wave file. So I need to convert them. Okay, I need to convert them into OGG format so that I can using here this Whisper models. So this is not out file; it should be the output file. So I need to give it here one name. So let's say encoded output, encoded audio OGG. So let's say encoded underscore audio dot OGG, like that. Okay. And after that, what I can do inside that, I need to give it here one command. So let's say command. So I just going to running this shell inside an command process. I mean, that's why I actually import here this sub process, because in the case of command line, we can directly executing here this web file to mp3 file. So inside this comment, I need to give it here some kind of thing in the form of list. So I'm going to patch it to here. Well, so I already patched it down here. So you can see I also gave it here some kind of comment. So you can see ffmpeg, which one is nothing but my input file format. And the bn is nothing but for remove any video stream if present. If you give it here any video stream, it will simply go into removing this video stream from here. That's when you can also upload here any video files. Also, you can see map metadata, which means strip all the metadata, just like title, artist, etc., from these video titles. And after that, it have the SE. One is nothing but set the audio to mono. I mean, for one channels in the case of audio. And the libu pass is the which one is more important for the grid for space. If you do the grid, if you upload here any space kind of data in your uh, input file, so it will use the octopus coded for grid the species. And also it will give it here the 12k, which is set a very low bitrate of 12 kbps in case of audio. And the application is BOIP, which is important, you know all as well. So tune octopus code for voice, which is called a BOIP mode, which is already available inside your mobile phone as well. So I can simply going to access it. I'm sorry, I can simply go running this out, but I need to also pass it inside the sub process. So what I can do, I can simply get using here this sub process. It's a sub process dot run, and inside that I'm going to give it to here my list, which is nothing but the command, and I'm going to make it the check is equal to true. Okay, now enter. So you can see it will also executed. Now we need to creating here another functions for transcribe the audio with Groq Whisper. I mean, do whisper. This is for the encoded. I mean, we encoded it in the form of OGG. Now we can simply go to using here the Groq Whisper to transcribe that. Okay. So what I can do, we can simply creating here a function. Let's say def transcribe. So let's say transcribe and underscore audio. And inside that, I'm going to give it here the file path. So let's say file path. And then I'm simply going to printing here something. Let's say print. So I can give it here one f string. So let's say info re-encoding. So why re-encoding actually? Because you're going to encode it from the mp3 or web file to the .ogg file. That's what's called the re-encoding. I mean, we encode it again. Okay. So let's say we give it to the file path. So let's say file path and then to OGG format. Let's say OGG format. Okay, format. And we can give it here some dot, and after that you're going to recalling here the functions that we created. That's called re-encoded audio to OGG, and inside that you're going to give it here the file path, as well as you have to give it here one name. So by default, we give it here this simple name, encoded underscore audio dot ogg. Same name we pass it to here. You can also pass it here any kind of random name, but by default taking here this one if you're not give it to here. Okay. And after that, we simply going to printing it here. Let's say print, same thing. Let's say f, and you can give it to here. Let's say info transcribing with Groq API. Let's say transcribing transcribing. Okay. with Groq Whisper. Let's say Groq Whisper, like that. Okay. And after that, we're simply going to opening this out. Let's say with open, and then you're going to opening here this same file name, this encoded audio .ogg. Also, you got some error, but you're solving this out. So why you got in some error, I will show you later on why. It's just nothing but the path error. So let's say F, and then we simply going to transcribe it using the Groq. So let's say Groq.audio dot transcriptions dot create, and inside that you're going to give it to here the models. So our model name is available inside our models, so you can directly copy it from here. We can copy it, you can see copy it, and you can go on here and you can simply going to pasting it here. And after that we're going to give it here the file. So our file is nothing but our f that is coming from here, and the response format. So response format is nothing but in the form of textual data that we needed basically. And then we returning here our transcribed. Okay, so it's our transcribed, so you can directly return it from here like that. Otherwise you can also make it a variable. Let's say transcript, and then you can simply return it to here. Let's say return it. So we can return it. Let's say return here dot transcript. Okay, that's transcript. Okay, fine. Now let's run it. And after that you're going to creating here one Google Colab file. So because I'm using here Google Colab, but when you do it in your local machine, you don't need to upload it or you don't need to store it. You can just give it here your file name in the form of mp3 or in the form of mp4. You can give it to here. So what I can do from google.colab, I'm going to import here the files. Let's say files, and then I'm going to creating here one uploaded variables. Here you're going to storing here the upload file. So let's say files.upload, and then you're going to getting here the file name. So let's say file name is equal to next of iterations of the uploaded. Let's upload it. So here we have our uploaded file in the form of file name, and after that you're going to using here this transcriptions. So I mean just give it here one name. Let's say transcriptions is equal to transcribe audio. So you can say the transcribe audio, and inside there you can give it here the file name, and you can printing it down. Let's say print, and then let's say we have the transcription result. We can give it to here \n. So let's say \n, and then after that you can give it to here dot \n, and you can simply get printing here the transcription. Okay, transcription, that is okay. So now if I click here to choose file, we can choose the file from our directory. So let's click on choose file. So we can choose it from here. So uploaded mp3.file, you can see on that I already store it inside my local machines, and I already do it in the local machine as well, but I'm not going to going to do this out. So you can see we got some transcription results. You can see 3 4 tower 6 2 3 that is available inside my uh, audio. So I'm not going to plan this out. So when you're creating the applications, you're just going to give it that. Okay, so you can see you don't get any kind of error. The error actually you can got maybe in the case of the path, because you can see it's store it inside that. So if you copy the path and if you use it, it will be better. Okay, sometime you will getting this kind of error as well, but right now you don't get it. Okay, so you can see we also getting here our transcription result. You can see it will re-encode an uploaded file mp3 dot to ogg format, as well as it will transcribing the audio using this Groq whisper models. Now it's simply going to creating here an applications. This is simple code just for that. Okay, so for that I'm going to actually installing here the Gradio. You can also implement this in the Flag as well. Just for answerity that how can you do that, I just do it. It also having another option as well. Actually you can also taking on YouTube videos, you can also uh, re-encode them, or you can also transcribe them. This is also one point. But when you try to do that, you just need to download the videos from the YouTube, and you need to pass it to here. The same thing, just like you just pass it here and before file on that. That's why I actually pausing this out. You can also edit here the YouTube one. You can pass here link and you can also transcribe them. Okay. So it's, you can see Gradio library is also installed. So we can simply going to creating here our Gradio interface. So I'm simply going to clear the output. So what I can do, you can simply go into copying here all the code from here in a single things, or you can also just writing here the functions for the Gradio. So I'm just going to writing here the functions for the Gradio, so you can do it in a single shell as well. So let's say I'm going to creating here the our application. Let's say app is equal to gr.interface. Let's say interface, and inside this interface I'm going to passing here the functions. So function is equal to transcribe audio. So let's say transcribe audio. So gr is nothing but also import that into. So let's say import Gradio as gr. Now it will coming up. Okay. So function is nothing but call the transcribe audio that we already created. You can see transcribe audio, and then you're going to give it here the inputs. So let's say inputs. So inputs. So inputs, you're going to give it to here gr.audio. So here you can upload the audio as well as you can also record by your own. So you can give it to here. Let's say type is equal to file path. So let's say file path, and then you can give it to here the label. So let's say label is upload audio, and then we can give it to here some kind of outputs in the form of textual data. Let's say outputs is equal to gr dot text box. So let's say text box, and inside that I'm going to give it to here a label. So let's label, let's say transcription. Okay, transcription. As well as you can give it to here some kind of title. So I'm going to write it down. So I just give it here the Groq Whisper Transcriber as well as one mic icon. Descriptions, upload an audio file, and Groq Whisper will transcribe it using the large BT models. As well as we give it a theme as a soft theme. So you can simply going to execute this line, and then you can run it in your main functions. So what I can do, you can use it. Let's say if underscore underscore name, it should be two underscore 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 name underscore underscore is equal to underscore underscore main. So you can simply go into running our applications. Let's say the name is equal to sorry. So let's say app dot launch. Let's say launch. So you can simply go to launching the applications on here. So let's run it, and then you can see it's look like you are running the Gradio on a hosted Jupyter notebook for the Gradio app to work. Okay. So if you can clicking on this link, you can see it will also available on here. You can also clicking on this. It's right now live for 72 hours. Okay. So it will loading this one. You can see it's loading. So you can also record it by your own. Otherwise, you can also upload it. If I upload it, click on upload file. You can upload the file to MP3. You can select it, and when it is uploaded, you can see it's uploaded. You can also hear it, but I'm not going to hear it for some the copyright issue. That's why. So I'm going to click on submit, and you can see it is processing them, and it will give you one transcriptions. You can see 32 tower 6232 tel. Okay, you can say Ruger ready captain like that. Okay, so you can also clear it. You can also record it. Okay, it's a no microphone. Okay, allow it. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So let's see. Let's click on submit. Okay, it is loaded or not? Okay, I need to wait for a few seconds because it's uploading, right? So it's upload audio. So okay, why did it say okay? I need to wait for that. It will just give some kind of errors. So unfortunately, it's not working in the case of Gradio, but you can also use here a Streamlit or Flux itself. So I'm going to click here to upload here a new file. Just I'm going to upload here the music of the perfect at Sharon and click on open. And I'm simply going to click on submit. Okay. So let's click on submit. It will still uploading the file. And if I click on submit, then you can see waiting for the files to finish the uploading. Please return. I mean, it will upload in the file on here. So I need to wait for that few seconds. So also our MP3 file is uploaded. I mean, our song Perfect by Ed Sheeran. And you can see the transcription result that you got it here. I mean, the links for that. So this is how the application is look like and how it will work. So you can also using here some any kind of model from the Hugging Face as well, to building here this kind of applications. So that's it for today now. I hope you enjoyed this full tutorial, and make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so that you will also notify how I'm actually uploading here any new videos. So thank you and bye bye.